What's up YouTube, COD4Man T21 here, and welcome back to another Company of Heroes 2 online replay. We are playing, welcome back to Season 3 obviously, we are playing with Nick again, who is the OKW, and we're going against two American players, and this map seems to be, Nick and me seem to lose a hell of a lot on this map. I especially don't like the winter version, because it puts this field in a very vulnerable position for this side. Because you think about it, the fuel on this side is right here. When it's summertime, the fuel is right here, so it's really not a big jump. But when you have the fuel here, and then all the way out here, like, it's very exposed. So I have to be very careful and hold our fuel there. Anyway, our opponents are going to do mass infantry. You can see he's already got assault engineers. Lucky Iggy we're going against, and we're also going against Sparky Rave Zero. So, here's what I was figuring. You know, I was talking about setting up a battle plan like I usually do. My battle plan is to get my machine gun into this house right here near our fuel and secure that. However, I did not think that they would push the center so quickly with so many forces. So I have my own guys, you know, taking shots, and then my grenadiers are here behind this log. I'm going to push them even like further back behind the logs to get some more cover, you know, it is directional. But these guys are in heavy cover here. Nick is trying to hold us as best as he can. I'm diverting my MG over to the center, so you have to be flexible with your battle plan a little bit, at least your initial stages of it. So yeah, you can just see there's just tons. They're just shooting right into that. Nick's going to have to abandon this. So we lost a church, which is really bad. You know, it's a high point in the town here, and it's just looking really bad for us at this point. You know, Kuhwagen's getting pushed back. I finally have an MG set up, thankfully. I'm manually targeting these guys to try to suppress them there. They're occupying multiple houses, and meanwhile they have, yeah, that's where all their forces are located currently. I have another machine gun coming up. You know, the OKW cannot get mortars, so my kind of objective is to grab a mortar, which I'll be grabbing shortly. And I'm surprised at all the damage my MG is taking even in the light cover. I know these guys are in heavy cover, but they're still pretty low on health. So I have my second MG posting up here. Now, the problem is with my MGs are facing the same way, so at least they're vulnerable to a possible flanking attack, but I do have my engineers here. Now, my pioneers. I'm getting ready to save up for the flamethrowers so I can kick these guys out of the houses, out of the church here, and retake the town. But wow, that was a hell of a push in the beginning. It seems like they have to pull back and refit right now. And they've also kind of, yeah, they're basically back at base. They didn't lose any riflemen. Yeah, they're still retreating. Anyway, lucky me. So I'm having these grenadiers basically kind of screen. These guys are about to be upgraded. So I'm going to have them screen, you know, give a target to the American riflemen so I can get these guys close up to that church right there. Now I see that he's capturing back here, so I got to be careful. And I have a mortar out also, so that should help with the very urban fighting in the center of this town here. So I'm watching these guys upgrade very closely. I'm trying to figure out when I can pull back my grenadiers. If I lose a couple of them because they're low health, that's not a big deal at this point. So at this point I'm going. And, yep, see how I kind of screen there? So now I can get these guys full health and start shooting into this, or flaming the church here, basically. And that should basically wipe out the American unit in there. Now we're still taking a lot of fire, so I have to be careful. And I'm getting flanked. I'm about to get flanked here. So I was actually going to move my MGs up, and these guys they're on the heavy snow here. And I did not see this. I was grabbing my mortar back at base here, directing targets for him. Meanwhile, I was trying to get my guys into here. But great flank by these guys. My guys got kind of stuck on the snow here, so they're actually going to try to steal my MG here. And Nick's Kuhwagen is taking a lot of damage. 2 videos ago, we were discussing about what car company manufactures, and I believe you guys said it was the Volkswagen. The people's car, basically. So that's kind of cool. You guys need information, you know. You guys are always great at answering questions I have in these videos. So it's nice to have a nice community like that. So these guys have a flamethrower, and these guys are in cover. So I gotta pull back here. I'm gonna risk losing my guys there. So they stole my MG. Like I said, you do not want to give over heavy equipment to the enemy, and I just did that there. I'm struggling with the amount of MGs I have too, because I'm trying to direct it, because there's no way we can hold these guys as grenadiers. You know, they have an extra man in each squad. It's going to be our MGs basically, and they've taken our fuel back, which is really bad. So you can see Nick has gone for the Luftwaffe Ground Forces Doctrine, one of my favorites probably, and I've gone for the Spearhead Doctrine. Just give me a possible mortar if I need, and the Panzer Tactician is like the greatest thing. If we were ever able to make our own doctrines, you know, I think it'd be kind of cool, but it'd be hard to balance it. I definitely put Panzer Tactician in every single one if I were to make my own. I think that's how Company of Heroes 2 could improve, really. It's for letting you make your own doctrines. You know, you'd have to balance it out, so certain, you know, a Tiger tank will cost you a certain amount of points compared to like this, the mortar half track, right? So I put my MG here because my other one is coming up. So my MG's facing the wrong way, and I'm like, oh boy. You know what's interesting? The snow that's all packed and heavy, like once it gets hit by a mortar, it stops pretty much. So my one Grenadier squad that's left here, you can see I have double MGs here on the ice. You know, I gotta be a little careful about those. They now have their own mortars. Yeah, so the heavy snow, once the mortar lands on it, basically gets rid of it, which is great. It's a little bit of a mortar war here. Grab my own mortar up here. Anyway, like I was saying earlier, I need to go capture the fuel back, and we are getting killed on VPs here. Thankfully, Nick is pushing over here. He did take their fuel, so I guess it kind of benefited us. But right now, they have both munitions, which is really bad because, I mean, it's cut off here, right? But giving the Americans a lot of munitions is like almost a death sentence because a lot of their doctrines rely on those munitions, and you know, it upgrades their troops. Now they took my MG42 here. Never mind, it's a 30 cal. Huh, interesting. Well, they have that anyway. So I'm on my MG kind of screen here. I'm gonna try to crawl up with my guys and try to flame this house here. Could really use some smoke. My MG is just getting massacred. Trying to pull this guy back before I lose another MG. Nick is kind of focusing on the center right now. I'm trying to take back our fuel here. And he's occupying this house with Fallschirmjägers. And now you can see I got a mortar half track out. I'm going to start landing these incendiary barrages down. So I lost my MG team again. But this MG is pretty much done. It's got one guy left in it who's surprisingly, you know, doesn't have a whole lot of health. Here's my gamble here. You know how I say you should always pull back when your men are pinned? I think that my mortar can kill this MG before it can kill my own guys. So, yep, that's what happened there. Now taking back our fuel. More Grenadiers are coming out for me. I have two MGs that are kind of healthy. These guys need to hop back to the front line. So, once again, I always, when I'm doing a battle, I always click up here and bring units up that way and look for the little idle button. So these guys were, you know, they're coming back. So I never go back to my base, really. I always have my eyes kind of on the front lines and what's going on. So let's see, we have the light armor of the U.S. with two mortar half tracks. It's funny because we're not really that entrenched. But I am just, I have my own mortar half track here, and I'm trying to keep him off the ice here so he doesn't sink. But that's basically, you know, I caught that house on fire, so I'm going to deny them MG nest by, you know, I love the German mortar half track. I think it's such a great tool to use, especially with the incendiary mortar barrage. It's just great. Like, just being able to knock out a building like that where they're holding MGs. And I was shocked. And they have a lot of infantry coming up here. It looks like they have a lieutenant and a captain. So he must be gambling on something else. Oh, nope, he has armor. I wonder why he got both. Usually what I do is I try to pick a lieutenant or a captain, yeah. So that house is gone. And I know they're gathering up here. That's the funny thing, because I can see it with Nick's guys in that house. So I'm not really having any opposition. This is completely unguarded, so I'm going to try taking that victory point. Because we're holding the middle pretty well, and then Nick apparently wiped out a full squad here. And didn't pick up the Browning, surprisingly, the bar. He might when he comes back. So I saw they have their own artillery. These guys have, you know, they have the howitzer. We saw that 2 episodes ago with the on the factory. These are quite deadly weapons, and they cost a lot. And I did not see this flank at this point, so I'm gonna see it a little too late, and I'm gonna try to pull back. But because I got hit with that barrage there, I'm in trouble. I'm more focused on getting, my mortar's basically gonna die. I've accepted that. I'm more focused on setting up an MG and keeping my mortar firing here. And yeah, I don't stand a chance. If I don't get these guys out of here, they're screwed. So I pull them back. These guys have to retreat. Unfortunately, I didn't get that Vet 2 squad. Those guys had to retreat through my MG there. Other MGs over here. And there's another assault going on this side here. So at this point, my guys are screwed. They're too low health to get back. So I'm going to lose them. So I'm at least going to try to get off a rifle grenade before they die, which I managed to do. So even if if they were too low health with 2 of those squads there, pretty much. So we're losing the center again, which is very unfortunate. And they're really using these walls to their advantage. This is a COH 1 map also. Yeah, you can see the Fallschirmjägers, those FG-42s, they're so deadly. Definitely one of the best units in the game for infantry. And these guys are trying to take over this point here. You can walk around this side, but no one ever does. Really. So I've now built the Leichte Mechanized Company. So I can get Panzer Grenadiers, can get a pack. So pretty much all I want to do is get a pack, basically, and I'm upgrading again. And they're about to destroy this house. So I already see the house is heavily damaged like that. It's a good idea to pull out before that happens and kills your squad, basically. So I have my machine guns. This is like my forward position here. My machine guns covering both flanks, and then I have my mortar half-track right here. And I'm hitting right back at these guys here. Now the real question is, with Nick's lead infantry, doing quite well, can we destroy their mortar half-tracks? If I can get a flank around, maybe hit these guys, some Panzer Grenadiers and Panzer Strikes, or some Panzer IVs that I'm going to bring out. If I can hit these guys, destroy all their light vehicles, that could be quite devastating to them. And Nick is once again doing a great job of harassing their field. You can see he's taking that back again. And he's taking their munitions. Now keep in mind though, on this map you have to, because of the way it is, you have to take this point right here to get anything on that hill. So I'm moving up, and there's a lot of enemy troops here. I think I'm trying to kind of spot. And I'm like, okay, we're at low health here. I need to get back. And yeah, that church is about to collapse too, so that's a very dangerous zone to be in at this point. So I'm launching the semi-barrage right around this area here. Or I will be in a second. I'm trying to take out that enemy. I guess I didn't launch it. I just did a regular barrage, trying to save up some munitions. So now I'm using I'm using the wall here, basically to cover my MG and protect them from all these mortars coming down. So now I've built the support armor core so I can get medium tanks. And I can bring these guys up to the front line. I have a lot of Panzer Grenadiers. I'm going to lead infantry also, basically. Nick's gone to lead with the Fallschirmjägers. They're just going to beat these American units. Is that my mortar? Wow, these guys stole my mortar and MG. That's very unlike me to lose men like that. The only disadvantage I've done to Nick, or what I've given to Nick, is by destroying these buildings around here, he can't pop troops out of them. But I guarantee you that I just wiped out that mortar. German justice right there. I guarantee you, though, they would have an MG in some of these houses like they were doing before. So I have my guys kind of moving up. Nick has 2 headquarters right here, so I told him to be a little careful about where he put his headquarters. Usually I like to put them like right around here. But he was cautious, which was good. And it does allow us to repair and heal up right back here. So it's kind of a forward base for us. And I'm my elite infantry here, and I'm trying to figure out, at this point in the match, I'm basically going to decide if I want to hit this right flank. I think they're pretty entrenched in the center, and I'm going to need some armor. See, this guy's on the wrong side of the wall here. He's forced to fall back there. I was throwing a rifle grenade, and so wasted my munitions right there because they moved. I failed to calculate them moving there. I can see they have another 50 cal, but you have to set up the 50 cal here. So Nick is moving in with the infantry again. I'm laying down smoke for him to really help him take this because we've had a lot of trouble lately taking it. And you can see Nick is just... His falchion makers are getting a ton of kills. He's popping off grenades on these guys, wiping out squads. He's doing a good job harassing that field, but once again needs to take that point to get us the munitions. Anyway, he's doing a good job though, because he is spread out. He is helping take the center with me, and he's also focusing on this left side and harassing their field. So he is spread out. They're getting further and further pushed back. They're basically down to this point here. I have my own grenadiers right here, and then I see the American Rifleman veteran with those bars. I need to pull back. It looks like they have a bazooka too. So at least it's neutralized. Meanwhile, my main force over here is taking this right area right here. Unfortunately, it is heavy snow, so my men are very slow, even on retreat. So he probably thinks I just have one unit. I'm surprised he can actually see me through the bushes here. I was hoping to kind of get close and surprise one of these units. But my Panzer IV should be out soon, and my goal is to hit these mortar half-tracks. I don't think they're ready for Panzer IV to pop out. So I have my guys behind the wall, but once again they're shooting back at me. I need to fully capture this munitions. Now this is not going to be a win situation for these guys, I think, because these guys are now vet 2. They're being shot at by multiple units, and now they're in the open and getting flamed. So not good for them, pretty good for me. I'm still capturing the munitions here. Nick has a Stuka Sufus, which he has to be careful with, but that is the area. Now the only unfortunate thing about Nick doing that is that my Panzer IV was gonna... These guys are in a very vulnerable position right up here, so... Nick's gotta be careful. We have a Sherman Bulldozer, very good against infantry and buildings. So... I thought I'd be a decisive moment here. I could strike right there, but I'm dealing with the Sherman here. And unfortunately, because I've been using all my munitions basically on my half track, so I can't make any Panzer Shreks for my grenadiers, Panzer Grenadiers there. I pushed him back there. I don't necessarily want to push him in the middle because I don't know what's there. I do know Nick's in a little bit of trouble here. And around this side, I'm going to decide to get a pack, which I'm building right now because I need to help out Nick. It has a damaged engine, that bulldozer, so I'm going to try to move in with my Panzer IV, spin around here, and try to take him out. But he does have very thick armor, apparently. My Panzer IV can actually hit anything. And unfortunately, that captain just shot bazookas right into me, so I got to be careful. So it's not worth losing my Panzer IV, but I did wipe out that captain, so it was very good. And he can't make another one. So by throwing smoke, therefore, you know, I'm not going to pursue those guys right there. I do have some veteran guys back here. These guys have been sitting at base for a while. I think I realized that in a little bit. But the important thing is that I have enough troops on Panzer Grenadiers right here defending this right side. We shouldn't have any AT in case one of these Shermans decides to come over. And that's a very real possibility. But keep in mind, you know, the Sherman's good against... Actually, these guys are going to repair me right here. The Sherman is great against infantry. It's okay against tanks. Its primary goal, I think, is to basically go against infantry. Like, really, the Jacksons are what's great against Panzer IVs. So, you can see Nick's guys right here. We're losing the victory point up there. My pack is out in case they have any of that stuff, so Nick's going to launch their Stuka Sufus. He knows they're along this main road here. I do see his tank is damaged halfway, so I'm going to push up. He should be taking this point right now. These things you see after, though, like when you're in the heat of the moment. He pops out. I'm like trying to move up here. He's going to pop out of his half-track right there. And we're actually trying to kill an MG. And at this point, I see that these half-tracks are right here. So he's trying to put smoke. These guys are heavily damaged. Look at me, I'm trying to take out one of these guys here. Unfortunately, I'm getting shot by the bazooka. In fact, these guys have a lot of bazookas. I just lost the Panzer Grenadier squad because I didn't see these guys are flanking. I was like, oh boy, that's great. So I have to fall back because these guys vet 2 with bazookas. Bazookas are quite effective, apparently. And they're going to push in here. Now, he got a Wolverine. Now, you guys know how I feel about Wolverines. Bad tank destroyers, really. Like, go for the Jackson. And this is like 45 fuel cheaper, but these guys are pushing so far into our lines here. I have to pull back across the ice. And he got another captain. That is, you know, once you lose your captain, don't get another one. It's 80 fuel. You could always have a tank over a captain, you know. And yeah, it's funny, the engineers of Nick's guys are coming over to help repair along my own guys to get my Panzer IV back to tip-top shape. So we need to do something. I have another Panzer IV here, so now we have some numbers here. I guess it's still the design here. I gotta switch that out, you know. They're basically like plain Panzer IVs without the, because they have their own blood on them, because we went back in time and ran them over. That was an interesting kind of event they did. And COH 2-1. Now, grenade would be great there, because these guys are piled up. I don't know if Nick has the munitions for him or not. Maybe a Stuka Sufus, though. Perfect direct hit. So this guy moves up, and I'm like, okay, I have 2 tanks. I want to finally destroy this guy who's been killing a lot of our infantry. And if he just gets Shrek'd, he's in trouble here. Not only because I have the AT that's shooting at him, but I have 2 Panzer IVs, and of course he's going to back up. I mean, why wouldn't you back up, honestly? And we got the Bazooka Boys right here. 5-man rear echelon squad because they are Vet 3. Okay, at this point I decided to pull back a little bit. You know, people argue between the Oswind and the Panzer IV. They used to be the same price, but now Panzer IVs are more expensive. Really, it's dropped the Oswind's price. Oswinds can be great against infantry and mass, but I still prefer the Panzer IV because the Panzer IVs, they have a machine gun on the front here, and you can get an MG guy on top, so you have 2 machine guns basically. Now, I don't think... Oh, look at those guys right there. So, you can see how deadly the Panzer IVs are against infantry. We basically just wiped out that squad. Now, I don't think they accounted for my MG being positioned right here. But we do have some troops right here. They're taking points, cutting off our fuel, which is interesting. Now, I'm actually getting hit by this Wolverine, so I gotta be careful. I'm definitely saving up for some Panzerschrecks. I still have my mortar half-track at this point. So I'm going after this. I have troops right here. These are going to go capture these 2 points as soon as I deal with this squad. Now, they are not veterans. They do not have any anti-tank. So you can see... Yeah, they had anti-tank. I did not think an infantry unit had basic anti-tank. They don't have any Vet 1 infantry at this point, I don't think. Yeah, so those guys died. Nick's Puma just sniped the mortar half-track there, and now they have a Wolverine. Those guys are just... 2 of them are retreating off the map. That's weird. Okay, so we've secured that side. I'm, at this point, just repairing my tanks and gonna start taking the fuels back. More guys are coming around. Keep in mind that Lieutenant does run. So I have a lot. Like, they're coming right through that gap of the house there. So at this point, oh, you know what happened right here? I was doing this last night. I was doing my laundry. So, like, I wasn't watching this. And I'm like, I'm probably going to lose something. You know, I had to go grade it out of the machine, you know, because I'm in the dorm. And Nick is helping me out. I probably should have warned him that I was getting my laundry. But this was a very close game, so that's why I didn't move or anything. So that's why I lost some MGs there. And you can see I came back and like, great, I just lost some guys. So I'm moving up here. I'm going to grab the Browning for my engineers who are about 2 here. And I'm thinking that I can kill the other one of these. So I'm going to take over this side. This is going to be my, you know, we're going to start putting some real pressure on these guys. Nick is going after their fuel again. And really, it seems like they're almost forgetting that I can come from this side. They have all their vehicles facing kind of towards the middle here. But, you know what, my pack, wow, look at that. They have a priest, so I guess they're trying to destroy. That's actually a pretty effective strategy. If you destroy a lot of the ice along here, the enemy can't cross because there's no blizzards that freeze it over on this map. I remember when everyone thought the blizzards were such a cool feature, and now people just hate it. Like, none of the maps have blizzards really anymore. Because it freezes your men, and it just really slows down combat. And this is a COH 1 map, so I don't think there would be a blizzard. So I'm going to move up. I have my 2 Panzer Grenadier squads here, and I have my 2 Panzer IVs. So I'm going to turn, and they're not going to see this coming. So vet 2 now. He's going to start moving. And I immediately just focus fire on that Wolverine. That's the most dangerous threat, because I'm pretty sure my MGs will finish that guy off. So there goes a Wolverine. Did a little bit of damage down. Once again, I have my veteran tank in front here that does not have a lot of damage. Screening for the guy who does. And he hopped on the ice, and I'm like, that's a mistake, buddy. So I hit him, and he gets abandoned, which is so unfortunate. You think he would have gotten destroyed there. So I need to get back, because there's a lot of guys here. So I'm popping smoke, and I'm going to blitz the hell out of here. But that was a great strike. Wolverine down, and a mortar half-track down, as well as the Sherman has been put out of commission. I was hoping he'd get sunk, but that didn't end up happening. So at this point, I'm going to kind of fall back a little bit with my tanks. I'm going to try to heal them up, repair them. And Nick is continuing to fight over here. His troops can just respond to the... He seems to be able to counter these guys on this side with his rear echelons. I know I'm trying to pull these guys back, but they keep shooting at us, so I have to fall back there. Pull my Panzer IV back here, so we can get repaired and have kind of an open field here. Maybe we slow down the American troops as they come over that heavy snow part of the map. Now they're bombarding Nick's base here with a priest. So we have one guy that went infantry, obviously. It was a ton of infantry. And the other guy went with the armor, so that's why he has the Sherman. Very cool design on that Sherman. I think that's Baker Company. I don't think it will tell us that. But so far we're winning on we're losing on VPs. But that's going to change here. Because we're doing a good job of holding. It was really the early on when we dug ourselves into the hole there. And now they finally got a Jackson. Great tank destroyer right here. Love my Jacksons. Absolutely. I usually get 2 Jacksons and a Sherman when I play as the Americans. That's what I tend to like, unless I get easy 8s. So I even built a bunker at base to, replenish my, heal up my troops here. Because I want them to be in tip-top shape, 100% health when they go into combat. Should have done this a little earlier, but not. I had the munitions and the manpower. So I see there's an HMG right there. And I'm like, okay, not a problem. My tanks can help you out with that. So I have 3 Panzer IVs. And these guys were behind cover, so now they're getting suppressed. But you can see this is a lighthouse here, and yeah. The one thing I know about that house is it's very easy to collapse on this map. I see a Jackson back there. You can see how quickly these guys get destroyed. Yeah, you don't need an awesome one, you can just do that. So I have my Grenadiers out here to basically screen. I'm going to try to get that Jackson if I can. Artillery's going down. I'm a little slow to see it. So I'm going to pull back here. I'm going to keep my infantry off for a second. Because that heavy artillery is going down. So once again, Jacksons do not have any machine guns on them. They're completely anti-tank. So now his engine's damaged. So if I move in, I could destroy that. But he's going to pull back immediately. He knows what I'm doing. And you don't exactly just want to charge with your tank force straight in the enemy base. And that guy has been such a pain for Nick and me. This bulldozer. Now, Nick saves up for a... He just built that. So if Nick saves up to get a Panther, that would be excellent for him. So I'm a little slow to kind of move up. I'm like, okay, there's a Sherman. That's fine. Got plenty of armor right here. But it seems like our shells are like bouncing off this guy. You can see my machine gunners on top are killing that Vet 3 squad pretty much. A little bit of lag from COH2 there. I get my engine damage. This is bad because they still have a Jackson. Who's damaged his engine also. So I heard something break. And he has a Jackson and a Wolverine right there. So I'm going to pull back with my tanks here. I got to be careful. You know, whenever I hear trees break you or something, or a fence fall down, you can always know there's armor near you. So I got my Vet 2 squads. They're gonna one Vet 2 Pioneer squad's gonna help heal up that tank. These guys are fine. And I do have the anti-tank right here. Now they have the infantry. I'd be a little bit of trouble. Now they try to flank around this side. But that's why I had my tank right here. I don't know what he's looking for. But that lieutenant is dead. So, okay. Maybe he didn't want his lieutenant anymore. I thought he'd be scouting, probably, you know, with his priest attack right here. However, I did not see that these guys are right here. He has a Wolverine and a Jackson, so they might be able to do a decent amount of damage to me. You know, this guy has been abandoned. He's actually using both guys to heal up his tanks. He does have a rear echelon squad. And we still have the VP here, surprisingly, even though there's a lot of infantry forces standing around not doing anything. So I'm seeing that Nick is having a little bit of trouble on this side, so in a minute or two I'm going to tell him, hey, I'm going to come help you with this bulldozer that's been killing you, you know. Move my pack up now. This is a little questionable. I didn't think the infantry would move up. I didn't think the vet lieutenant there. I knew those guys would move up. So I didn't manage to see the Sherman right there, but you can see they're massing for an attack. They have 4 armored vehicles right here. And I have 3, so I'm outnumbered. So I'm trying to, you know, not let my pack die here, so I'm gonna pull back. They do keep it alive, thankfully. But once again, you know, they have all these tanks right here, and I cannot see that. So all I've seen is that they have a Sherman base. I haven't seen the... I did see the Jackson, yeah. So I know they have 2 tanks somewhere. Since he's just launching indiscriminately barrages from his priest, which doesn't have only 4 kills, it's not too many. And look at this, he's pursuing Nick all the way back to his base. So I'm like, Nick, I saw that right there. I'm gonna come help you out. He has a Panther out. So the second I start shifting all my troops, you can see the enemy, I lost my Vet 2 squad there. The enemy starts pushing up and attacking. So I'm like, okay guys, reverse. Now, I don't want to be too spread out here. I'm going to immediately start trying to target that Jackson. These guys stop. This guy's in range. So that was poor. I'm trying to get my guys here with the Panzerschrecks to start taking out that Jackson. Those guys got massacred pretty much. Those guys are dead though, so now we're going to start pushing in. Jackson is the priority target here because it does do the most damage to my tanks. Unfortunately, these guys start coming in, and I did not expect that. They just wiped out one of my tanks. The other one got wiped out here. Smoke's going down. In the smoke, I do not see that there's a Panzerschreck right there. So I'm blitzing. I'm trying to get my guys out of here. It's really bad at this point. I'm hoping I can get out, and that guy got wiped out by a Wolverine. Unbelievable. So, yeah, I just lost my whole armored force, basically. So Nick comes a little too late here. I see that this is on the ground here. I'm like, oh my gosh, I better grab that. Now, they took out 3 of my Panther troops. I have a Tiger coming out. What are they going to lose after doing that is the question. So far, they've lost 1 Hellcat. I mean, 1 Jackson. And you bet I'm going to try to take this guy out. So he's out of control. Nick brought his Panther over. They're dropping smoke. I'm going to run through that smoke and try to take out something. Maybe even one of the Jacksons. So I see it. I'm going to start firing some shots. I just want to make it so he's going to lose some more tanks for doing that to me. Some more tank destroyers. He pulls back there. So, you know, okay. He's gonna try shooting at that guy. He's done. And by the way, the Tiger's gonna start moving up here. So that was a decent assault by them. They almost lost all their armor there. They stayed a little too long. But me and Nick were divided there, so that's what happened. A lot of bazookas and bars are laying around here. However, wow, look how thin that ice is. Like a mortar would probably collapse at because of the heavy weight of the Tiger. Heavy armor and ice do not go very well together. So this is the Tiger after all. So I'm going to kind of turn to angle him that way. They're pushing straight into Nick's base right here. They're going after his Stuka, which he's got to pull the hell back. We are hurting right now. Nick's lost a lot of infantry. I've lost a lot of troops too. I lost all my armor pretty much. Nick gets very lucky that they're going to start pursuing his Stuka Zufus and he's able to get away with that. He's already popped Fallschirmjägers. You can see they're chasing after him with bazookas. And they're just disregarding. He already lost a squad there. The other one almost got killed too. So these guys are vet 5, 51 kills on those Fallschirmjägers. And these guys popped out of a house. Nick's finding any kind of house, even if it is a shack, to pop Fallschirmjägers out there. Yeah, so at this point, Nick's going to start transferring forces back over. I have my Panzergrenadiers here and my Tiger. Now at this point, I'm going to start building some bunkers right here. I'm going to build a medic bunker and a reinforcement bunker so I can try to keep my men and hold this position. More Panzergrenadiers are coming in. Now look at this. I have my recon flight around here and I see some armor. So I know they're massing, right? But what I don't see... Actually, yeah, Pink lost all their armor. So these guys are going to come up again and I'm like, really? In that heavy snow like that? Surprising that's actually doing a little bit of damage against the Tiger there. Now at this point they're going to probably want to push in if they can. My bunkers are not complete yet. These guys are vet 2 now. I got to pull back my Tiger a little bit. It's damaged, so medic station going down first because most of my infantry have high numbers here. And I have 4 Panzer Grenadier squads. That's a lot. So the second one's going to go down. And I could really use another engineer. So they're hurting right now. They're down at 75 points. I'm desperately trying to hold on to 1 VP. They're going to make a rush for one of them, obviously. I have an MG guard in the center here. I'm telling Nick that, you know, they're going to kill me here. They're going to probably move up. So Nick is bringing over a Panther. And they just wiped out one of my squads. So I'm going to move my Tiger right over here. I'm going to be reinforcing here too in a sec once I can. So that's really hurting actually. Should put the reinforcement bunker down first. So you can see what's about to happen. A mass assault. And guess what? I have 2 squads and one that's damaged and a Tiger. And I'm just getting the reinforcement bunker right now. So this was expected, right? I'm like, okay, some infantry. I can handle this, no problem. And then I see, oh my gosh. So Nick's hitting that side armor of that Sherman. I don't know what the hell that Sherman's doing, but I'm reinforcing my guys here, healing up. These guys are getting killed. I'm losing squads. They're really trying to take out my Tiger here. Now he is using the armor piercing, so that's going to be quite deadly. I'm trying to reinforce as quickly as I can. I have guys back here that aren't into the fight. I do not want to go on this ice though. And yeah, they're going to blow up my bunkers here. We're down to 12 points right here at this point. And Nick gets the... I'm about to lose my Tiger here. Nick's forces come in a little too late, but he did get the airborne assaults. So they're going to start pinning down some of these American troops that are just blobbed up. And you can see that, yeah, they all got pinned right there. So he even lost his Panther. So if this came earlier, we would have been really hurting. But I'm going to start destroying some of these tanks here, and that's when the match ends. Really, we lost a whole lot. You can see I was down to 1 Panzer Grenadier squad and my machine gun in the middle. I could have easily gone to Panzer IV and some more infantry, though. So, good game to our opponents. They played kind of well. They played pretty well, actually. The blobs, though, towards the end, that was... You know, you got to be careful about blobbing up. But either way, good game to our opponents. Hope you guys enjoyed this match. I'll see you in the next episode. Hotforman221 signing off.